The wind howls through broken walls, snow falls inside homes like rain, and the cold bites harder than hunger. This was winter during World War II, and for many people, the real enemy was not bullets, it was the cold. Fires were rare, fuel was gone, and many families had nothing left to burn. Nights felt endless, and each breath turned into ice in the air. People wrapped themselves in thin blankets, hoping to see the morning. But in the middle of this frozen world, something small made a big difference. Not a fire, not a stove, but a tiny candle. It did not look like much, just wax and a wick, but it held a secret. A simple trick that gave heat when there was almost none left. This tiny flame became a lifeline, and for thousands, it meant survival. At first, a candle seems useless against the cold. One small flame cannot heat a room, or so it seems. But people learned something important. Heat is not only about size, it is about how you use it. When that candle was used the right way, it became more than just light. People began placing candles inside small spaces like metal tins, clay pots, or even simple jars. These objects trapped the heat and slowly spread it out. Instead of heat rising and disappearing, it stayed close. It warmed hands, faces, and small spaces where people sat close together. It was not magic, it was simple thinking. Use what you have, and use it smart. That tiny candle became a quiet hero in a time when everything else was failing. The real secret was not the candle alone, it was how people used it. Many would take a clay pot and place it upside down over the candle, leaving a small gap for air. The pot would heat up slowly, then hold that warmth for a long time. Soon, that pot became like a small heater. It did not burn fast like wood, it gave steady heat. People would sit close, holding their hands near it, feeling life return to their fingers. Some even used two pots, one inside the other, to trap more heat. This simple setup turned a weak flame into a strong source of warmth. It was quiet, safe when watched, and it used very little fuel. In a world where everything was running out, this small idea made a big difference. Imagine a family sitting in a dark room, cold walls around them, snow pressing against the door. No firewood, no coal, no power. Just one candle, placed under a simple clay cover. The glow is soft, but the warmth is real. They sit close together, sharing that heat. Hands stretch out slowly, faces move closer. It is not hot, but it is enough. Enough to keep fingers moving, enough to stop the worst of the cold. These nights were not easy, but they were possible because of that small flame. Without it, many would not have made it through the night. It became a routine. Light the candle, place the cover, gather close, and wait for morning. The reason this worked is simple. Heat rises fast, but when you trap it, it stays longer. The clay or metal would absorb the heat from the candle, then release it slowly into the air. This made the warmth last longer than the flame alone. Also, the setup reduced heat loss. Instead of spreading everywhere, the warmth stayed close to where it was needed. It turned a weak heat source into something useful. This was not about making a big fire, it was about saving every bit of heat. Every small advantage mattered. In survival, small things can mean everything. There are many stories from those harsh winters. People remember the cold more than anything else. They remember the silence, the hunger, and the fear of not waking up. But they also remember the candle. Some say it was the only thing that kept them going. A small light in a dark time. A small heat in a frozen world. Mothers would guard that candle like treasure. Children would watch it burn, knowing it meant warmth. It became more than a tool. It became hope. Even soldiers in cold bunkers used similar tricks. When fires were not possible, they turned to small flames and smart thinking. This story teaches us something important. Survival is not always about strength. It is about thinking. It is about using what you have in the best way possible. That candle was simple, but the idea behind it was powerful. It shows that even in the worst conditions, people can find solutions. You do not always need big tools. Sometimes small ones are enough. It also reminds us to be ready. Hard times can come at any moment. Knowing simple tricks like this can make a huge difference. Even today, this idea can be useful. If power goes out, or if you are stuck in a cold place, a simple candle setup can give you some warmth. It is not a replacement for a heater, but it can help in an emergency. You just need to be careful. Always keep it in a safe place. Never leave it alone, and make sure there is air. Safety always comes first, but knowing this trick gives you an option. A backup plan. Something simple that could help when nothing else is working. We often think survival needs big tools, big fires, and big plans. But this story shows the opposite. Sometimes the smallest things matter the most. A single candle, used the right way, helped save lives. It gave warmth, comfort, and hope. It turned fear into something people could fight against. In a world of chaos and war, this tiny flame stood strong. It did not make noise, it did not shine bright, but it did its job. And sometimes that is all you need. So next time you see a candle, remember this story. Remember how something so small helped people survive one of the hardest times in history. It is a reminder that we are stronger than we think and smarter than we know. If you found this story interesting, make sure to like the video, share it with someone who loves survival stories, and subscribe to Warzone Survival for more real survival secrets from history. Also, drop a comment below and tell us what you think about this tiny heat trick and what survival topic you want to see next. Your ideas could be in our next video. Stay ready, stay smart, and stay alive.